So now that we have a general understanding of the truly devastating nature of fatal insomnia, let's delve a little deeper into the specifics of its two forms,
Okay.
starting with fatal familial insomnia, or FFI.
FFI, the inherited form of this horrifying disease. It's hard to imagine anything more terrifying than knowing that this deadly condition runs in your family.
Right.
How exactly is this genetic nightmare passed down through generations?
So FFI is inherited in an autosomal dominant pattern. This means that a single copy of the mutated gene is enough to cause the disease.
Wow.
If one parent carries this gene mutation, there's a 50% chance that each of their children will inherit it.
Oh, gosh.
It's like flipping a coin with every pregnancy, but the stakes are unimaginably high.
A 50-50 chance of passing on such a horrific fate to your children?
Yeah.
The weight of that knowledge must be incredibly heavy
Yes.
for families affected by FFI. And it all boils down to a specific gene mutation, the PRNP gene, which we touched on earlier.
That's right. This gene provides the instructions for making the prion protein. In FFI, there's a single tiny error in the DNA sequence of the PRNP gene.
Okay.
This error leads to the substitution of one amino acid for another in the prion protein. It's like swapping out one tiny building block in a complex structure, but the consequences are catastrophic.
So this seemingly insignificant substitution causes the prion protein to misfold, setting off that chain reaction of destruction in the brain.
Precisely. The substituted amino acid disrupts the delicate balance of forces that hold the protein in its correct shape.
Oh. Instead of folding into its normal, healthy form, the protein twists and contorts into an abnormal shape, becoming a deadly prion. And as we discussed earlier, this triggers a cascade of misfolding in other prion proteins, spreading the damage throughout the brain.
It's amazing and tragic how one tiny alteration in our genetic code can have such profound and devastating effects.
It's incredible.
It really highlights the incredible complexity and fragility of our biology.
It certainly does. And with FFI, the consequences of this tiny error are irreversible.
Now let's shift our focus to the other form of fatal insomnia, the one that seems to appear out of nowhere, sporadic fatal insomnia, or SFI.
Right.
This form of the disease is shrouded in even more mystery and fear, isn't it?
Absolutely. SFI appears randomly with no identifiable pattern or family history to help us understand its origins.
So there's no genetic test to screen for SFI, no way to predict who might be at risk. That must be terrifying, not knowing if this time bomb is ticking inside you. It is. It's a diagnosis that comes out of the blue. A thief in the night, stealing your sleep, and ultimately your life.
And to add another layer of fear, it seems that even though there's no known genetic cause for SFI, it still involves the same prion protein going rogue and wreaking havoc in the thalamus.
That's right. Despite the lack of a known genetic mutation in SFI, the disease still involves damage to the thalamus and the same type of misfolded prion protein found in FFI.
Oh, wow.
The difference is that we don't yet understand what triggers the misfolding in these sporadic cases.
So essentially, both forms of fatal insomnia, FFI and SFI, lead to the same horrifying endpoint, just through different pathways. It's like two roads leading to the same terrifying destination.
That's a good analogy. Both forms result in the progressive destruction of the thalamus and the cascade of devastating symptoms we've discussed.
Right.
The fact that something as seemingly simple as a misfolded protein can lead to such a catastrophic and fatal condition really underscores the incredible complexity and vulnerability of the human brain.
It's a stark reminder of how much we still don't know about the brain and how even the smallest disruptions can have the most profound and terrifying consequences.
It's humbling, isn't it, to think that something so small, so invisible to the naked eye, can unravel the very fabric of our being.
It certainly is. This deep dive into fatal insomnia has been a journey into the darkest corners of neurology, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the terrifying power of disease.
Absolutely.
But while it's a scary and unsettling topic, I think it's crucial to shine a light on these rare conditions.
I agree.
To understand them better, not only for the sake of knowledge, but also to fuel the search for treatments and cures.
I agree. Knowledge is power, even when it forces us to confront our deepest fears.
Well said. As we conclude part 2 of our exploration, I'm left with a sense of awe at the brain's complexity, but also a profound sadness for those facing the devastating reality of fatal insomnia.
It's a mix of emotions that many people experience when confronted with the realities of such a terrifying and relentless disease. But it's important to remember that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, the human spirit can be incredibly resilient. There's always hope, And the pursuit of knowledge and understanding is our most powerful weapon in the fight against these devastating diseases.
That's a powerful message to carry with us as we move into part 3 of our deep dive, where we'll explore what the future holds for research into fatal insomnia and what resources are available for those affected by this rare and relentless disease.